welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Talking to the great Jim Norton. And we're also talking to St. Louis's own Tim Kaepernick. Tim Modest.
Jewish rapper.
Tim
That's correct. I'm a Jewish rapper from
Tim
South St. Louis.
Irish teacher. No, thanks for being here. Tommy Lasorda's coming up next. You know, I wanted to ask you, me and you recently did a roast together. We roasted Anthony Bourdain.
Yes. I saw him this morning, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He seems like an all right guy, right?
He is. He's a regular guy, yeah.
He had a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
But you did a bit that I thought was so funny. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot here, but it was a little bit of, if you can remember one or two lines you were talking about. and it's funny because it's so true, how cooking people have their own sense of humor and they have inside jokes like nudge, nudge, like,
right.
Hey, Rachel Ray, I saw your French toast. Way to go with too much cinnamon.
Yeah. Yeah, someone likes the bread kind of soggy. Should both be burned alive.
Just nudging each other.
Yeah, good-naturedly. Just a little fun, you know, a little restaurant ribbon. Nothing too serious, you know. I had, bro, come on, I ate dinner at your house, the pasta. Oh, get out of here.
Just doing a little vanilla extract humor.
Yeah.
What do you like doing those roasts? Me and you do them quite a bit. I mean, you like them?
I do enjoy it. It's fun to just attack people.
Yeah.
You know, it really is a fun thing because crowds have gotten so sensitive. You can't be as mean with the audience. Like a roast is the last place where they walk in expecting you to be mean.
Right. It almost seemed that's a great point. Every other audience, even at the great club we play all the time, the Comedy Cellar, where it used to be the greatest audience in the world, even those audiences are becoming soft. At
a little sensitive.
1 a.m., kids in their early 20s where you figured you could say anything. You say one word that, you know, MTV has taught them to be hate speech for the last 10 years. Like, oh, there's a groan and you got to dig out of a hole. But a roast, man, they want it crazy. They want you to bury people alive.
They do. Well, they think they do. Like, sometimes it goes too far. Like, I love when you do a gig, like a private function, a company, and they go, oh, dude, just say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't understand. Your idea of dirty is not my idea of dirty. Like,
no.
They want like a hell or a damn. Or,
No,
you know,
definitely you.
Drop an S-bomb.
with you, they don't know what they're getting into. Man.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? They just don't understand the way a comic is. That's why a roast, sometimes people walk into a roast, they don't know exactly what it is. Sometimes in a roast, I want to tell people, this is what it is. Don't be upset. Don't be a baby. Don't groan.
Yeah.
We're not hurting their feelings. You know, you have to let people know.
And it's not being snobby. It's like any other profession. If you do anything for a living for a long time, you're going to get jaded, and the average day will bore you. And to excite you, you're going to need something so out of the ordinary and so crazy to where you'd rather bomb sometimes, almost just because it breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just more satisfying. Because like, if you're bombing, like I always find if I'm bombing, like I'm going to bring the whole ship down. Like we're all going to need a shower when this is over.
Like let's just go nuts.
Yeah, you want their night to be ruined as much as yours.
Yeah, I mean, and that can go that way with anybody because you're just so used to it, and it's not patting yourself on the back. You're so used to getting laughs. If you've done it for a while and you're good enough and you have an act, you know, there's nothing spontaneous about it at all sometimes. You have a set act, and you've done it in every city, and you know for a fact a certain joke, if you get it out right, is going to get a laugh. So it's almost like timing, like inside my garage.
Right.
Blah, laugh, laugh, laugh. In my garage. Laugh, laugh, laugh.
Right.
So if you get bored at midnight in, you know, Cincinnati, you might, you know, I don't know, drop the C word for a woman here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And see how crazy they
I know, and that's just what you're walking up to say about the feature. You know, have a nice hand for it. But I roasted Zach Wilde last year. It was one of my, I did Dee Snider this year, but last year for Guitar World.
I met him at the Sirius Satellite fantasy football draft.
Oh, yeah, he's a big fan of that.
Yeah, yeah. He actually, our team played his team in the finals, and Zach beat us.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He's
I met him, and a great guy.
Great guy, loves comedy. Like, he got beat up at the roast, but Sharon Osbourne was the roast master, and it was she was barbaric.
Oh, yeah.
Like, which made it great for all of us, though, because when Sharon went up and was as harsh and as ruthless as she was, nobody got upset, and they're like, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So sometimes if the host is particularly brutal, the crowd goes for it. The rest of us are in great shape.
The crowd's got to, you got to forget, you can't forget, too, though, if you get invited to a roast. it's not, and people make this mistake who aren't comics. They think you're going there to insult this person who's being roasted. What you're forgetting is you are an open target too. Everybody on that dais is roastable, and you forget that sometimes. And you know, it's insulting, but a lot of times people are invited just to be a target.
Oh, yeah.
You know? They don't care where your jokes are. They just and show business is so rude. They'll get people there, let them do their set. It'll bomb. They'll cut the set out of the final cut, and the only thing they leave in is them being insulted.
Yeah, it's just it truly is terrible.
But even when you do it for a while, I told the story the other night on the show. This is I got lulled to sleep with it a couple of times. I roasted William Shatner. Were you with the Shatner roast?
I was not. No.
Okay, I roasted Shatner for Comedy Central, and Betty White was one of the women going up there. So Betty White's up there. I'm sitting next to Andy Dick. I was still partaking at the time. Andy Dick and I are drinking like crazy, and it's like we had IVs of booze hooked up to us. And he's just like touching my face, like, he's got 3 chins, like I can fit in his chins. I'm like, just really nuts.
Yeah.
And I was drunk, so I could deal with it. So Betty White's up there, and I'm like, well, Betty White's not going to insult me. I got a free ride. I could relax for 5 minutes. Betty White's first joke, she goes up there and she goes, oh, it's so good to see Artie Lange here on the dais. And I was like, well, she said my name, and I look over. And she says, yeah, especially knowing that I'm going to outlive him. She gives her like, it gets a roar, practically a standing ovation. And then on top of that, Andy Dick's going, she's going to outlive you, you fat bastard. It can get horrible.
Dude, there's nothing worse than an old woman icon killing. I did the Saget roast, and the star of the night was Cloris Leachman.
Yeah.
She murdered it. She was legitimately funny. Well, they were an old lady. Like, she killed.
Dude, that's when you know that these old broads, they've been around forever. But you know what? Especially those two. They're not stand-ups, but comedically, they're reading jokes someone else wrote for them. And if you write them good jokes, they are pros.
Absolute
They are.
pros.
Cloris Leachman and Betty White are pros. You give them a joke, they will time it perfectly.
She was talking, Cloris Leachman was talking about what nobodies we all are.
Right.
And she goes, I just wish somebody would punch me in the face so I could finally see some stars. She was great, man.
That is great.
She
all
killed
right.
us.
We got to get the time of the sort of. Listen, Jimmy, thanks for stopping by. Once
Thank you,
again,
man.
Once again, tell them where we're going to be. We're going to be
The Borgata this Sunday, February the 17th. Our first show is completely sold out. The late show, there are some tickets available. The next day is a holiday.
Right.
So not like you have to get up for work. And it's myself, Artie, Dave, and Amy Schumer, whose show is about to go on Comedy Central, and she's going to pass us all by.
Right, we were just in Minnesota, sold out a big room there. The first show, we sold out 3,000 tickets the first show. And there's tickets. So this is a popular ticket. So come by and check us out. Twitter, anything you want to mention?
I'm just Jim Norton on Twitter. It's just, it's going to be a lot of Pope jokes coming up, so.
Oh, yeah.